Hello everyone! Today I'm making Sada Roti, a simple flatbread using only 3 ingredients. I'll take you through my step-by-step tutorial for perfecting your Sada Roti and getting it to swell every time, and you can stick around at the end for some bloopers and some tips and tricks. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel so I can keep bringing you guys amazing content, and like and share this video so others can learn how to make Sada Roti. To get started with the dough, add 4 cups of all-purpose flour, 3 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of salt to a large mixing bowl. Mix together well. You can do this using your hands or a whisk. Then form a well in the center of your dry ingredients in preparation for your water. Traditionally, when making roti, you would start by adding a small amount of water and pulling together some of the dry ingredients to form a dough. Set that dough aside and repeat until all of the dry and wet ingredients are combined. Then you would pull that dough together. But this is not that kind of recipe. I know exactly how much water I need for this recipe, so I just go ahead and add 1 3/4 cups of water to the center of the well, and I mix together using a rubber spatula. Yes, you heard me, a rubber spatula. If you've seen my very popular simple roti tutorial for beginners, you know that using a rubber spatula takes away some of the anxiety of mixing roti dough. If you're a first-time roti maker and you're not sure what that dough needs to feel like, using a rubber spatula takes away all that guesswork, and this way it brings together the dough in a very smooth dough with no lumps that are created by squeezing together the flour and the water with your hand. And this way you don't need to rigorously knead your dough after you're done mixing. It's simple and it's mess free. For Sada Roti, you're aiming for a really soft and sticky dough because you aren't using any fat in this recipe. To help with the stickiness of the dough, simply place your palm in some flour, then squeeze the dough to soften. This is how my mom taught me to knead roti dough. You don't want to use the pull and tuck kneading method that is used for bread because folding the dough onto itself makes the Sada Roti stiff. Repeat this for about 5 minutes, then cover your dough and let it rest for 30 minutes. If your hands get too sticky from kneading the dough, that's okay. Just go ahead and wash them, dry them off, and then you can start the process again. After resting for 30 minutes, your dough is ready to be separated into 8 equal pieces. I'm pulling it here to show you how soft this dough is. It's soft and stretchy, and it's going to make the perfect Sada Rotis. Then you're going to go ahead and turn this dough onto a floured surface. I like to stretch the dough out into a log because it makes it easier for me to separate it into equal pieces. Then you're going to just pull off a piece and try to separate it into 8 equal pieces, tucking the dough under and smoothing out the top. Again, no kneading is necessary here. You're not kneading it and shaping it the way you would if you were making dinner rolls. You're just going to tuck it gently under and smooth the top so that when you roll it out, you have a nice smooth roti. Repeat this process until all 8 dough balls have been formed. Once you form all 8 balls, transfer your roti to a plate and cover with a damp paper towel and let it rest for 30 minutes. After the dough has rested for 30 minutes, it is now time to cook your Sada Roti. On a floured surface, roll your dough ball into a round disc about 3/16 of an inch thick and 8 inches in circumference. Don't worry too much about making your roti perfectly round. That will come with practice, and even I don't get it perfectly round sometimes. It's more important that the roti cooks well and is soft. Make sure that your roti is not sticky before putting on a towel or skillet. Add a little bit of flour over your roti just before cooking if necessary. To cook the Sada Roti, add a towel or skillet to medium heat and bring up to temperature. When the pan is hot but not smoking, add your rolled out roti to the skillet. Allow the roti to cook until bubbles form on the top. You know you're in good standing if you can move the roti with your hands and it doesn't stick to the pan. Once tiny bubbles form on top, we're going to go ahead and flip that roti over and continue to cook it on the other side. You can use your hands for this or a spatula. Don't try to be a hero and get burned. It's totally okay if there are no brown spots on that side that you were just cooking it on. I actually flip my roti back over to that side and let it swell on that side so it'll have plenty of time to get brown. After about a minute of cooking, flip your roti over and continue to cook on the other side. Remember, we have our fire on medium heat, and this is the side we're going to leave the roti on while we allow it to puff up or inflate into a ball. You can do this by moving your roti around so that it allows it for even cooking. Some people will pull their tawa or skillet to the side and put the roti directly on the heat. I find that to be a bit dangerous, so that's not how I do it. I do it either of two ways. I just leave it on the side of the pan with the heat and allow it to puff up that way, so that one's already inflated. Or in this next roti that I'm going to make, I'll show you how my mom actually cooks hers, and it swells up and is perfect every time. So let's repeat that process. We're going to add that roti to the hot skillet, let the bubbles form on the top, and then we're going to flip it. Continue to cook it on this side for about a minute, and then we're going to flip it over again. And now I'm going to turn the roti for even cooking and let it puff up right on the towel. So do you see that roti inflating on the towel? It's the heat of the tawa or skillet that's inflating it, and oftentimes when your roti is not inflating, it's because there's a hole and hot air is escaping. So you can go ahead and use a kitchen towel and put it onto that spot where the hole is, and it'll allow it to inflate completely. So on the towel, without putting it into the direct heat, I'm able to get this roti to be completely inflated into a ball, and then I just move that over, and let's take a look. The mark of a great roti is being able to rip it open into two layers, one with a thin top layer and then a thicker bottom layer. Look how soft this roti is that I can actually just rip it. It smells really good and it's perfect for curries or any sides. And now for the first episode, and I have the perfect recipe, but something keeps going wrong. First, my dough was sticky when I put it on the tawa, so it formed a crust on the side where I'm cooking it first. So I follow all the normal steps. I rotate for even cooking, I flip. It starts to inflate on the towel, but not that part where it formed the crust. And no amount of tricks will bring that back and help it to inflate. So that's fail 1. Fail 2, my towel was too hot, so it burnt my roti when I put it on. I follow all the normal steps. I cover it to see if it's going to inflate. Nothing will bring this back. Not even putting it on direct heat. Fail 3. My tawa was perfectly heated. I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do. I flip it over. I'm watching. I flip it over again and I let it inflate. But then I decided that I want to put it directly on the heat to have it inflate a little faster. But I forgot to turn the heat down, and so I have direct high flames coming to my roti. So now my roti is burnt. Don't let these happen to you. Follow the recipe as written and have perfect results every time. Thanks for watching.